All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to PreMarket Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Woo, good morning. Doing better now. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to connect. It was touch and go there for a second. Hello, but we are here.
Okay. Good, man. Good. Glad you was able to join us this morning. And no computer issues so far. So, welcome, guys. What an action-packed day was yesterday, man. All the way from the morning all the way to the end. I mean, just a bunch of stuff happening. And again, more earnings plays like Meta's obviously front and center for us this morning. And yeah, looking forward to it, man. So very, very exciting. Quick look at our gappers list today, friends. As you see on here, we have a couple on there. We have a BSC, Tau, but the gap down, obviously. Ooh, they kicked me out of tradingterminal.com. Look at that. Let's go right back in there. All right, here it is. So we have IBM. By the way, guys, this gappers list free right now at tradingterminal.com. So take advantage of that if you haven't looked at it. Tons of other scanners as well. This is where we get our data and our news and lists and scanners every single morning. And there's so much more in there as well. So we have IBM, Snap, Amazon. I mean, the gap down list looks awesome as far as the names on here. They all trade very well. Looking forward to see what's driving that. Peter, let's go to you on news and what is happening today.
Well, we have a whole bunch of numbers that are just coming out right now. So I'm just getting the updates. So let's share them with you. Most of our economic calendars, you can see, is 8:30. The only thing that's coming out after the open are the pending home sales. So don't have to worry about too much interference to your trades after the opening bell. But right now, we got some economic data. And look at the market drop. So in response to what is generally some positive numbers, let's start with the jobless claims. Continuing jobless claims came out over estimate. Actually underestimate. The forecast was 1.8 million, came at 1.78 million. So just a little bit under, which is considered a good number from economic perspective. Shows a heating economy, though, which the markets don't typically like. GDP numbers came out. They were under forecast. So the forecast was 2.5% growth. We only grew 1.6%. But interestingly, the price index was over. So prices are higher, volume is lower. If we look at course prices, PCE prices also overestimate by about 0.3%. The last number that I was looking at was the initial jobless claims, which came out once again under estimates, which again shows a stronger economy. So all in all, it means that, well, look at the market getting concerned about the Fed potentially looking at increasing interest rates, or at the very least, continuing to maintain them. The market really wants interest rates to go down because that's good for business investments and the markets overall. But the stronger the economy, the more likely the Fed is going to try and cool things off. So again, I can't speak. This morning's numbers are indicating potential risk that the Fed is going to, at the very least, continue to maintain its current strategy and potentially even increase rates. So that hence the drop, which only strengthens that gap down list that Carlos was talking about a minute ago. And don't forget, we got a lot of earnings that came out after the close yesterday that we're going to talk about. A bunch more earnings this morning. So a lot going on here that is affecting these markets, which is going to give us a lot of targets today. So today is going to be all about narrowing down which stocks you're going to trade and weeding out the ones that you don't like best. So we're going to talk about the ones we like best, but you make your own call and your own decision, because of course, just because Carlos and I are saying this trades well or doesn't trade well, that's based on our trading strategies. You've got to develop your own philosophy and approach to the market so you know those that you like best. So we'll do our best to help you in that process. And let's go with this gappers list, because there's a lot to take a look at. My God, I can't talk today. Anyways, we'll get through it.
I think that the computer systems are fine. You got to get your computer up and running here.
Yeah, apparently.
All good, my friend. It is early, but nothing like you guys joining us from the West Coast. We thank you guys for getting up so early. We had a little taste of that back in Vancouver. That is not as fun. But yeah, thank you for joining us if you're waking up that early in the morning. All right, quick look here, guys. We're going to Control A, Control X is going to clean up our watch list from yesterday. Some of those names are going to be joining us back here on this list because they're just on fire and in play today. Let's start with BCS this morning. So BCS leading the gappers list. It is up. What is this? 6.5. This is garbage. This is straight garbage. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. Why is this on here? I'm gonna ban
Yeah,
this stock from the list. I mean, look at
yeah, it
this.
just happened to get enough volume. I mean, it's dual traded, being a UK bank. They had good numbers as banks typically. Well, they sort of had mixed numbers, but they maintained their guidance, which says that they still see confidence in the sector. So they did have news, but you're right. We don't even like North American banks all that much. We're certainly not going to trade a UK bank.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we'll leave this alone. You know what? Let's roll the garbage truck early this morning. First one. Not a great way to start the show, but this stock deserves it. Pure garbage there. Let's take a look at the next one. IBRX. Another one, man. This is just brutal. Look at the up and down here on this daily, no volume. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This shouldn't be here. So another one that's just not great. We'll leave
No,
that one alone.
no,
Man, this
they're working at curing cancer, or at least lung cancer. But
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't make it tradable today. Doesn't look good.
Doesn't make it good for us at all. IBRX. I'm sorry. The next one is also not a great one. We know this one very, very well. It's hanging around since I can ever remember. This stock is just hanging out, man. I mean, it's a Chinese education company. We normally stay away from this one. Very sketchy, I think, and it trades brutal in the intraday action. So another one that will skip
Yeah,
today. Um,
it
it's
gets a
just
surprising amount of volume. Again, we don't see
yeah.
education stocks anywhere but out of China, where I guess there's a lot of sort of private education that they commercialize. I don't even know how they work, to be honest. But I remember TAL was on the list when they had news. Remember, they were working on a joint program with some semiconductor companies to build a postgraduate program that was going to develop the next generation of microcomputer engineers. Anyways, this is just earnings. So they had a good quarter, good for them. But yeah, it's doesn't typically give us good trading activity.
Yeah, we'll leave that one alone. Heading down to the next one, HSCP, and man, just the ugliness continues. This is up 5.1 here, 1.2 million shares traded. It's not in play. Looks like some kind of buyout. The way it's trading here, it just looks brutal. Peter, is any news? It is up 5.1. It's got what seems to be some volume. This pre-market, and also the last couple of days, if you notice here on the daily, they are getting some volume. So I do got to say something has changed recently. There's a lot more volume here in the last 2 days from not trading anything. So maybe some news behind it that could be driving something good here. Not
Yeah.
sure.
No, look, you read it right, right? It is a buyout. Actually, IBM confirmed that they are going to be buying HashiCorp for 6.4 billion at a price of about $35 a share. So once again, like we always say, look at where the price ends. It's always going to be just below that acquisition price. And sure enough, here we are sitting at around $33, and it's probably just going to hang here for quite a while. So buyout, which is not really tradable.
We'll leave that one on the side. Man, so far we're striking out on all of these on the gap up. The fun is on the gap down. I could tell just by the names, especially with Meta leading the way here at 15%. So bear with us as we get through some of this
Yeah.
nonsense that we got on the gap up list, and then we'll get to some good stuff. Here's a AZN this morning. This one we know very well. Although I gotta say, I won't bash it too much because the pre-market activity looks horrible at the moment. But they tend to trade a little bit better, Peter, most days or some days when they
They,
are in play.
Some
Isn't that?
days when they're in play, yeah. So earnings this morning, they beat their numbers, had a pretty good quarter actually. So AstraZeneca was, sort of reporting increased revenue and earnings over forecasts. I didn't see anything about their forward-looking guidance. So I think they're still on track for a good year. Yeah, it's okay. But as you say, there's good stuff on the gap down that we're going to get to momentarily. So, well, actually, there's a decent one next on the gap up. Why don't we just move on? American Airlines.
Yeah, there it is. But wait, is there something wrong with my second chart here? Are you guys getting the same thing here? I got 74.75 in the daily and 72.30 on. Let me check a regular ticker. Yeah, something's. Oh no, see,
Yeah,
AMD
I
is
see.
correct. Okay.
I see it matched 74.75. So
Hmm. ACN for some reason looks funky, but I just checked AMD and that looks perfectly fine.
oh,
No, it does not. Hold on a second, guys. I'm just going to refresh my DAS here, see what's going on. Let's reopen this and that looks better. It matches now. Okay, so something was
there
still
you go.
not connecting properly. All right, friends, let's take a look at a good one. You mentioned American Airlines. Let's see what's happening here. This is up 2.5 million shares traded. Is this like one of the last airlines to report, at least the major ones, right? We had United, we had JetBlue, Delta. I'm not sure if Delta has reported yet, but it seems to be like on the tail end of the airlines that are reporting.
Yeah, we did have some of the big ones. I think there's still a couple of small ones to say. I haven't seen a Spirit Airlines report yet or Southwest, but I think you're right. The other UAL Delta all reported. So AAL, last of the big ones that we tend to look at, and it was a mixed quarter for them. Actually, they missed on their numbers, but they raised their guidance. So they didn't have a great quarter, but they made promises for the future. So I love it when they gap up and they say, "We didn't do it this quarter, but you just hang on. We see good things ahead." So, all right. I guess people are buying it because American Airlines is up 4% so far this morning on some very, very good volume.
Yeah, I like them. They can trade very well when they're in play, and then when they're getting this type of volume, they do amazing. So I will be adding these guys to my list here, American Airlines, and that kind of
Well, there you
covers our
go.
gap up list, right?
I've
Yeah,
been
go ahead.
corrected by Manfred, by the way, that Spirit did report this morning. It wasn't even on my radar. So, but yes, they did actually report, and it looks like and they also had some bad earnings. So they're blaming Boeing. They're blaming
Who?
Boeing because of Boeing's not
American
giving
Airlines
them
is
new
blaming Boeing.
planes. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Oh well.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
Well, they fly both. They have a lot of Airbus too, so they just go to Airbus. Get your planes over there if you need to. But yeah, everybody's doing that. Alaska did that as well, right? They actually they lost big though. Alaska lost a couple of I think millions because of that. That because all their planes are 737. So when you have a fleet that's all you have, it really hurts
yeah.
you. So that's the problem.
It's convenient, but I'm not buying it from any of the airlines, frankly,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah.
unless they were significantly adding to their inventory and there's like routes they'd plan to fly that they can't fly, which I suppose is possible, but they usually don't plan that tight. I don't know. Yeah, it just feels convenient. So
Yeah. Yeah. And a good something that's not a great gauge on how the airlines are doing because I heard this over the radio from an analyst. That I'm like, you should know better than that based on your experience and you're broadcasting to a major newscast. He's like, yeah, the airlines are doing bad, but I'm on the plane, it's full. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they didn't cut two other planes to make this one full, right? So don't get confused. They're very good. Airlines are very good at maximizing their seats. They're awesome at that. So just because you're in a full plane doesn't mean that they're doing great. It's just that they probably canceled two other planes to keep this one full that normally will go there. So that's not a good gauge for that. You got to see the whole big picture. So American Airlines on the list here. I like them this morning. We'll see where it goes. Peter, we'll get to all the earnings in a second, but let's go right to the gap down, right? So let's look at Meta.
yeah.
This one, oh man, look at this. Down 15%, guys. 2.7 million shares
So
traded. Peter, who's getting fired today? What's going on here?
yeah, where we played Tesla to the upside on earnings, this was sort of the opposite picture, right? Everybody was expecting Tesla to have a very bad quarter, and frankly, they did. But the stock went up. Everybody, I say everybody, but the majority of analysts were expecting Meta to have a very good quarter, and they did, and the stock goes down. Fascinating, isn't it? So it's a great lesson in why you shouldn't, don't assume you know which direction is because of what everybody's saying. So, these stocks both sort of did the opposite of what you would think they would do based on the consensus estimate of results, and they were right. Like they expected Meta to have a good quarter, it had a good quarter. But look at the stock price. So it's almost one of these where, in both cases, they were sort of priced to perfection. So when they did what they were expected, everybody took the stock in the opposite way because now there's an opportunity, right? Meta was seen as overpriced, Tesla was seen as underpriced. Doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. What matters is the resulting price action. As we can see, it dropped. I know Jared was trading this after hours. We were watching it. I didn't have the guts to get in this. This drop was very dramatic right off the open. I wasn't sure if it was going to bounce back, but if I'd had some faith, there was an opportunity to get in around 450, and you could have ridden it all the way down to 400 if you were really, really bold, but that would be an hour wait to do that. But anyways, Meta still down. I mean, it is down, what, $72 when I last looked from the close? $78 from the close. So yeah, it is down big time. That's a total 15, almost 16% on a stock that beat their numbers. So it's crazy. Yeah. So what's in play today? Meta's definitely on the list, right? There's no question. So we'll see if it can rebound. By the way, remember what we said about Tesla yesterday? We were watching Tesla and said, just be careful. It had gapped up significantly, but the big money hasn't spoken yet. And then at the open, you saw what happened, right? They sort of let people jump this thing up on the expectation of, oh, look, it rose so much overnight, it's going to be awesome. And then what immediately happened, right? You get the big sell-off. The biggest move of the day, frankly, was from the high of the day to the low of the day, which happened, I'm just looking over here at the chart, which happened between about 9:50 a.m. yesterday and 12:30, when this thing went from high to low of the day and then just held in a range. So what the heck is happening?
How are we doing, Peter? All good?
Music I had some weird music that was starting on my computer from somewhere.
Are you playing the new Taylor Swift album? I heard it's good. I gotta get it. Gotta pick it up.
I was tempted. There's two of them, aren't there? It's a double release.
She's awesome.
That's really
She's
all
awesome.
I know about.
She hit a surprise album that nobody knew about. I mean, how do you have time to do a surprise album? Some artists can't even get one in such a short period of time. So from a business perspective, she's amazing, but we won't go into Taylor Swift rabbit hole because we can get caught up in that pretty quick, me and you, Peter.
She's a marketing miracle. She really does know how to do it.
Anyways,
the Meta, yeah. So let's wait and see what Meta does at the open. Either way, Meta is in play, so we know that Meta is going to be in play. So I am absolutely not, predicting which direction this is going to go. At this point, I figure I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
So
it can go any way here.
It is looking fun. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we have Meta there, guys. We'll see. We'll keep that one on deck as well. We'll see how that goes. The next one on this gap down list is IBM. So IBM also down quite a bit. They are down at 10% this morning. Not usually a great, excuse me, intraday trading ticker, but today they are down 9.4. If there's any day they're going to trade well, it's going to be today. So Peter, what's the news on this? I'm assuming earnings, right? Obviously. Yeah, here it is.
Yeah. A double whammy for them. We already mentioned the acquisition, so they are the acquirer, and usually the company doing the buying, gets the downtick in their stock. So they're buying. What was it? HCP, I think it was, and they have put in that offer at $6.4 billion. So that's a stroke against them, I guess, because it was announced at the same time as their earnings, which weren't that bad, really. I mean, they missed on revenue, beat on earnings, which I'm going to go on a brief rant here about stocks. It always surprises me on some of these when they have these numbers, and I always feel like the market doesn't actually understand business, right? They do these analyses and don't really understand what's going on. So IBM missed on revenue, so they had lower revenue, but they beat on earnings, so they made more money off of less incoming revenue. I would get bonused extra for that. so there you go. You can all have your drink. There is an indirect reference to corporate life, but So there's a sales problem that you go talk to the salespeople, but it could mean deferred revenue. There could be all sorts of reasons. You need to dig deeper when they have that. The thing is, if they actually made more money off of less revenue, that shows good financial management and cost management, and I would see that as a good thing long term for IBM. However, doesn't really matter. We're traders, not investors, and it's gapping down 10% because the market is a little unhappy with them this morning. So,
Yeah, there you have it, guys. I'm not sure how well this is going to trade. It is in play, maybe a possible for me. There's other names I want to have on here that are going to look a little bit better. Is my suspicion on it. So IBM as a secondary right now. Oh, here's Southwest. Southwest must have reported this morning, or just
yep.
sympathy with American Airlines. Okay, so
No,
there it
they
is.
did report. Yeah, like I mentioned, I said I was
Yep.
wrong. One of our members corrected me on that, so I appreciate it.
Oh, yep.
And yes,
Gotcha.
they did report. And again, they posted a wider loss, and Boeing. Boeing is all over their report. They're blaming Boeing all over the place, right? Where they said that Boeing's cut their delivery forecast. They've slipped down the list of delivery partners. So anyways, whatever. It is what it is. But the market's saying they're not happy.
Yeah, they're really not. Over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. It does help us out a bunch to get the channel growing. As we try to get to 100,000. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscription button as well. Pig Wrestler over on YouTube, the CCL report, I am not sure, but I'll tell you this much. They move a lot with American Airlines. They're a big partner as far as in the cruise ships out down in Miami. So we used to see this a lot when these two stocks were in play, CCL, the travel companies. CCL and American Airlines will move together very well. So a lot of people fly down to Miami to get on these boats. And is that the right word? No, ships. I should use ships or boats. What do people get offended with, Peter? I know there's a term that is offensive.
I think boats offends
boats.
them. I'm not sure why they get upset. But
vessels.
I'm
okay?
not. Why is CCL on your list? I don't see it here.
No. Somebody asked me. No, somebody asked me a question over on YouTube, so I'm answering.
Oh, okay. Well,
here. Yeah.
CCL, if it's moving, it's really just a sympathy move because the one that had earnings was RCL.
There we go.
They don't. Royal Caribbean, which is a slightly smaller cruise line, doesn't trade quite as well. But as you can see, they're both gapping up this morning. Royal Caribbean had good earnings, actually. And it happens to be the only cruise line I've ever taken a cruise with. So not that that means anything. But there you go.
Okay.
Random fact for you.
Nice.
But they beat their numbers in the quarter and are seeing strong quarters ahead. So there you go. So, yeah. Cruise lines.
Cruise lines. I haven't been on one, but can't knock it before I try. I know some people don't like them at all. Some people love them, so can't wait to try one.
I have to admit, I didn't have a problem. I only did the one cruise. I've done a couple of smaller cruises, but that's the only major cruise line. Carlos, it's an experience. I think you should do it once before you. Before anybody says they don't like it. It's a floating
before
city. Well, you just go on a big one. Don't take a little boat. To go on a big boat. Like I was on one of their largest ships at the time, and it had a shopping mall, it had a casino, it had a skating rink on it. Like you can't quite imagine the size of these ships until you sort of get on them and go into the ballroom, for instance, or the main dining room, and you're like, what the hell? Like it's very strange. Anyways, it's worth doing once. And if you hate it, then don't go back. But
yeah, definitely got to try it. Definitely would try it. So we're just talking about Southwest here, guys. I have American Airlines. I'm going to put this as a secondary. I think American Airlines might move a little bit better than Southwest, but obviously Southwest has negative news, American Airlines positive news. So it'll be interesting to have both on the list today. Let's take a look at Snap, and then we might just start skipping down to some of the sectors that we have here. Just to get through this list a little bit quicker. But Snap here, this just looks brutal. It's down 5.3, 1.1 million shares traded. How is it trading, right? Let's look at yesterday and how this thing is moving. So if we come in here, this is yesterday's action. It's just, I know that you might think the drop looks great, but it just looks like it's choppy. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently my pumping of my own usage of Snapchat was not enough to raise the stock, for which I'm very disappointed. Well, where are all the PDs out there? Can
Yeah,
I'm going to coin that. I, if there are Swifties, I want some PDs, but apparently they didn't raise Snap's stock price. So oh well, yeah, we
yeah.
can
Well, the example you
release.
had yesterday where you couldn't pull up what you wanted, that was not great. So that's why it's down today. Yeah, there it is. All
The
right,
PDs
friends.
and the Carlosites. That's who we need, out there
Yeah,
doing our bidding.
absolutely. Let's look at the entire. I'm not gonna ask Snap on my list, by the way. I think it's horrible trading stock, so we'll leave it alone. But I see Riot, I see Clean Spark, Mara. I don't see Coin. Coin is not trading so well anymore, man. It's Mara has been much better. Even Riot has been trading much cleaner. Coin has become a little bit choppy as far as how much volume they're getting. Right, the volume is not the same. You can see a slight drop in here in the last couple of weeks, so maybe that's affecting it. But again, it can still move $20, but that $20 is not as clean as we're seeing on Mara and Rise. So, any news today on overall Bitcoin? I see they're down slightly on all of them at the moment. Coin, Riot, and Mara.
Yeah, Bitcoin prices are down a little bit from yesterday, but nothing major to be honest. I mean, I think it hit a high of about 67,000 yesterday. It's sitting about 63,000 today. Still in the range. If you look at the daily chart, still in the range it's set over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, nothing major happening with Bitcoin, but it is on the down trend, I guess, which is what's going to move these things down a little bit. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can keep an eye on it. Like you said, Carlos, not trading as well. I mean, the heyday is not. We're not in like one of the big movements. I think it's going to come again. I think Bitcoin is actually, or cryptocurrencies are going to explode at some point, but it's going to coincide with the next big market upswing because that's what happened last time. So that's my guess is going to happen.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
it's what happened with Meta, right? And new inventions, they're tough. They're tough to kind of stick with for a while. If you guys remember, Meta had that huge drop when they were going to invest heavily in what's the cyber network? I forgot what it was. Universe. What's the name, guys? I know you guys have it, the tip of your
What, the
tongue.
metaverse?
Metaverse. Yes, remember they were going to invest heavily on that thing, and that got
Cyberdyne,
I
not
forgot the
not
name.
Cyberdyne,
Um,
not
but
Cyberdyne systems.
that's the future. It's just it's early right now. And, try to get people to kind of hop on board. It's a little tough, but that's going to be the future eventually. And part of the call I was hearing yesterday was that he's investing heavily. There's another, not metaverse. There's another one that he has. It's going to invest heavily on that, like an AI company or AI something, and that scared investors. So though they had great numbers from other cuts they had last year, um, you know, it's the same thing going to repeat again, where markets dumping tons of money on something that might not be profitable right away. So much going on when you're trying to do something brand new, man. It's not easy, but Mark will figure it out. He's a very smart guy. He'll figure it out. Um, all right, let's. So that's Riot. I don't know if I like any of these today.
Because he's an
Riot,
alien.
Mara. He is an AI man, like Eamon. Um, so I don't know about Mara, Coin, or Riot. I mean, they don't have amazing volume. Maybe we'll watch Mara and Riot for now. We'll put them on here, but we'll have to decide if we want to keep those. Riot, though, it's been getting great volume and it's been trading much better. So maybe Riot will go on our main list. So you know what? I think I just convinced myself to do that. They look great. Well, almost a million shares traded, down 4.7, and they've been trading well over the last couple of days. We're going to skip down to some big names here, Peter. I mean, we have Google. We'll do
Yeah,
this.
Google's on the list,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I mean, Google seems to have a bunch of little. There's nothing big happening with Google that I can see.
Hmm.
Google's got so much news; it's always tough to wade through it, right? So they're having some activist employees that they're dealing with. They announced some layoffs, which was seen as actually punitive by some. Whether it was or not, I don't know. I mean, they claimed that they were cutting off some product development that wasn't yielding results. Some of the groups said no, they were just very vocal about some of Google's policies and practices, and that's why their divisions got cut. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it could just be sympathy with Meta, right? Because of the Meta results, it makes sense that Google might feel some of that pain. We do have Google earnings that we still haven't heard from. So we have to keep that in mind that that's happening after the close today. So Google, I don't know whether it's going to go up or down. We'll have to watch it like we've done Tesla and Meta and wait and see. So today is that day before earnings, like we saw consistently with Meta and Tesla. that trading on the day before was a little bit low. And if I'm lucky, maybe I'll be on the microphone with Jared and we can play the guess how many contracts were issued on it game again. I enjoyed that yesterday. So
that was fun. I was listening, and you guys are enjoying the close. I like this time of earnings. A lot of fun. Microsoft also are earnings tonight as well, so we'll be looking forward to that. You can always get this calendar, guys, over at tradingterminal.com. So if you head right over there, you can see the earnings calendar, top earnings coming up as well, and what's happening, throughout the week. So take advantage of that. All right, heading up. So I don't know. So do we add Google to the list here as a secondary?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it feels like it goes on the bottom list at the very least.
Yeah.
I think Meta and even Tesla are probably our better targets, although Tesla hasn't made your list yet. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Let's go through the gap down because there's a few things on there we should pick out.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to let you pick those out because I don't want to go through this. So there's some garbage in the way that I don't want to go through. But before we do that, Peter, explain Google, and there's two tickers, right? And someone's asking here on our YouTube channel. Guys over on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And Peter's going to take you through what Google is and also some of the earnings today.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit rare because you don't. There's only a couple of companies that have two classes of shares that are traded side by side. Google's one, and they're weird companies, right? Under Armour, right? There's two tickers for Under Armour. There's two for Google. The others are escaping me. But basically, it's just a different voting class of share. You don't have to worry about it. They trade, in Google's case, roughly the same price in roughly the same quantities. You can trade either one. I prefer Google, the GOOGL, but it doesn't really matter. They if you even look pre-market, they're probably trading at about the same volume. Once the market opens, I can almost promise you that volume will come in if they're not. Yeah, so the GOOG has slightly less volume pre-market, and that's typically the way it goes. So I trade with the L because it has slightly more, but trade either one. It doesn't really matter. Again, we're traders, not investors. If you're investing, you might care based on the voting rights and the long-term viability of the share class. But I mean, I'm buying this for minutes and hours, not weeks and years. So there you go. That's what's going on.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Peter. Now I'm going to stop with the gap up list here. Let's in the gap down. What do you have as far as earnings that we haven't covered yet?
I'll just pick things off the gappers list because I saw a few on there. Microsoft was on the list, not because of a lot of news, but they have earnings after the close. They are moving down so far this morning. They're in the red. That probably is just sympathy with what we saw in Meta. So be aware that Microsoft's earnings are coming after the close. Last night, let's go to some of those that had earnings. Ford was one that we were watching. Ticker is just F. Doesn't trade all that well. And it often gets that barcode mode I was talking about, right? Which means trades a ton of volume, a lot of computer trading, but they beat their numbers in the quarter, which again, for the auto manufacturers, it's interesting to me that, remember, we've been talking EVs for a while and how they're decreasing prices. And there's a little bit of a price war. Interestingly, it seems all the traditional car manufacturers are having some pretty good quarters. So we had GM report. Now we've had Ford report. Both have done quite well in the last quarter or two. So anyway, so there you go. Chipotle, one we like to watch because it's fun. As we like to say, the most expensive burrito you could ever buy. CMG is the ticker on Chipotle. It's a $3,000 stock. It's not easy to trade. But look, despite the stock price, what we loved, we were watching this after the close yesterday. Look at that price move, right? Went from about 29, let's call it 29.20 up to 3,070. So $150 move. And I think it was on like 300 shares. So if you actually look at that candle, it is so few shares. It was crazy in the move. So Chipotle is entertaining, but not something you really want to be day trading. But I like to talk about it anyways. ServiceNow, let's move on because we got a lot to talk about. NOW, they had earnings after the close. Again, another good quarter for them. Beat their numbers. They are gapping down this morning, but again, we're seeing the AI stocks dragged by Meta. So I think that's the reason why ServiceNow is sort of moving in sympathy. All right, a couple of last ones that we haven't talked about. Caterpillar, CAT, missed on revenue, beat on earning, mixed picture. I often look for Caterpillar to tell us sort of what the heavy equipment and sort of what some of our, sort of more farming stocks and things are where that part is going. It's sort of a mixed quarter, so it doesn't tell us much. I don't look at it for trading, but more to indicate where the sort of parts of the market are going. I would say that's pretty indecisive. Philip Morris, MO. Sorry, what do they call themselves these days? Altria. I always forget what they call them. They're a cigarette company. We know the Philip Morris. You can hide behind the fancy new name, but we know who you are. Anyways, apparently people are still buying their cigarettes in droves because they beat on their revenue and they just met earnings. So like right on the penny. So they're usually pretty good at predicting that and once again hit their target. We already talked about AstraZeneca. So last but not least, Comcast. One of the few that's got a 5-letter ticker. We talked about Google. Here's one of the other ones, CMCSA. Yeah, there you go. Comcast, one of the weird 5-letter ticker ones out there. Beat their numbers. Actually had a good quarter. Once again, seeing an increase in some of their subscriber numbers, sort of similar to what we saw with AT&T yesterday, I think it was. So, so they had a good quarter. So there you go. There's a ton more earnings out there, but those were the highlights that I made note of. If you've got others, well, now's your chance. Feel free to throw them out there and we can take a look, because I said there's a lot of offerings, a ton of earnings. We're right into the heart of it right now. So
all right,
what do you
thank so
guys
much,
like?
Peter? Yeah, let's get to you guys this morning. Let's start here in our chat room. See what you guys like so far that we have not mentioned so far. American Airlines, Meta, right on my list. Secondary list, Google, Mara, IBM, and Southwest this morning. So let's take a look here. AMD, yeah, let's take a look at AMD. A lot of the tech companies, again, moving together here. AMD, actually, I wanted to add Microsoft. I like the way Microsoft looks today. I know they have earnings after the close here, but their daily looks nice. They're down 2.6. So I want to add that one as well. AMD this morning, yeah, AMD's got a nice drop here, 1.2. I think a lot of tech companies moving together here this morning. We can definitely add AMD. Lighter volume than what we usually see, only 400,000. They can do more than that. We've seen them do plenty. Nvidia, on the other hand, though, guys, 1.5 million shares traded. That is some volume. So I think this one can go on here. Can be a little bit difficult to trade at times, to plan your risk management on it, just because of the way it moves and how volatile it can be. But I'm gonna add these two on there. CDTX by our good buddy Abdel. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. CDTX. It is up 23%, very light volume, so it's just barely missing our gap up list. Well, it's gonna make it now because it's just hit over 200. It looks like there. So yeah, this could be a tough one, man. I mean, the volume overall on the daily is not high. And if we look at, let's see, the last couple of days, what is going on with this ticker? Is this what it did yesterday? This is brutal, man. I will not be watching this. Be very careful. If this falls within your stock selection of your strategy, by all means go for it. But it does not fall within mine, man. It looks brutal. So be very careful if you're going to be watching that one. Tesla, yes, we mentioned it, but I didn't add it to the list, and we should add it to the list. Tesla down 1.3 here. 2.3 million shares traded. Again, it was up this morning, hitting 163, and then just losing ground. Is this losing it all because of it's just the market. The market is dragging things down. Numbers came out at 8:30. Peter, what's the number we had? We had a GDP, initial jobless claim, and everything came hot. Looks
continuing
like
jobless claims. Yeah, the U.S. trade balance. All that stuff came out. And again, while they're reporting a weaker economy, the numbers dispute that, right? Because the numbers are basically showing a slightly stronger economy. Well, slowing growth on the GDP side, but still, again, jobless claims usually is a more immediate number than the GDP. And again, they showed less people going for unemployment, less jobless claim activity. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, as long as it creates volatility, I'm all for it. Let's go. Markets.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's dragging things down, guys, in AMD, Nvidia. But man, Tesla looks great. This list I have here is getting longer than what I want it to be, but everything on here looks pretty good. So, all right, what else, friends? Let's get over to YouTube, see what you guys have this morning. FCX. It is up 2.1. It needs more volume. Now, this is a New York Stock Exchange, so you kind of need to wait for the market open to see the volume comes in. Sometimes these stocks don't get great volume. Right now, I do not see a whole lot. I do see a nice little bounce here that you're probably looking at, right? The bounce of 47 into 49, and maybe can go towards the highest high here. But again, slightly light volume, so you just gotta wait for the market open on this one. So not much to go on right now, but it looks good as far as getting a bounce. AZN, I think we did look at this one, right? Um, this could be a hit or
We
miss. I
did.
did mention that uh, overreaction maybe, and especially with the SPY dragging things, could be a good potential short here. Maybe gravity's getting the best of it here. I'll add ACN as well, man. I again, just a few of the ones that are gapping up this morning. AZN, and we also have American Airlines. Everything else in the red. Some very deep in the red, like Meta and Riot here. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how these stocks are actually gapping up today. How they're going to perform with the SPY continuing to show so much weakness this morning. All
Yeah.
right, let's say
Yeah, a lot of red on the screen, like you said. It's only those that had some very positive earnings, like AstraZeneca, that
yeah.
seem to be holding on to the green so far this morning. So
Yeah. Amazon
where they
looks great, guys. I just can't add any more. I have way too many on my list. I got to fine tune this a little bit better. So we'll do this. It's a great day today. You could be very picky. You could be very selective, right? You can start picking stuff based on whether you like the company or not, right? Kind of getting a little more fundamental there. But there's so much to watch this morning. Let's do
we're
this. What we
we're
do,
overfed this morning, Carlos.
yeah, we sure are, man. We sure are. What we can watch for sure is today, Thursday. We have so much mentorship going on. You guys can take full advantage of this. Peter's gonna walk you. That's the wrong slide for Peter. That's Peter full screen there. What I
Okay.
meant to do was this one here and that one there. There we go. That's better for
Can I
Peter.
mention in random news? By the way, I was
Yeah,
going through my pantry. Those the Twinkies that I had in there. Remember, I or the anyways, yes,
yeah.
I tried them. Still hate them. I was looking for them the other day. I can't find them. I don't know where they've gone.
That's probably a
I,
good
I
thing.
I'm I have to ask my daughter sometime. Maybe when she was watching the house, did they like get the late night munchies and do something bad? Because and I'm sort of happy they're gone. But where did they go? I'm just curious.
What made you
Anyways,
think to even go get this? What made you even go look for it?
well, we were talking about it the other day, and chunks and maybe chunks ate them. He ate the packaging if he did, because the whole box is gone. So
Alexander
Sky,
over on
not that I'm
YouTube.
aware of.
Yeah.
But maybe Twinkies does seem something that you would eat after having a smoke. You'd have a Twinkie in one hand and a Dorito in the other, right? So, anyways,
Uh,
I don't know what's going. Anyways, missing Twinkie mystery. It's not really a big driver in my life to go figure it out, but. I just thought, for whatever reason, it just occurred to me. All right, okay. Thursday, yes, Carlos is saying we have a lot of mentorship happening. So with more interesting and enlightening things to talk about than I just did. So John starts off at 11 a.m. with his mentorship session. It's great if you're new in the room. It's always a good place to ask your questions, especially if you don't want to ask in front of 1,000 of your closest friends in the chat room. You can go and ask in a much smaller group, right? There's usually only a few dozen people there, and it's a great place to get your questions answered. Now, if you have more advanced questions, especially if you trade high of daybreak, then it's an extra good place to go. So join John at 11 a.m. For that mentorship that's happening this morning. Then we switch to options, as we always do at 2 o'clock on Thursdays with Jared and Megan, and they'll be answering your questions and talking options once again in the webinar room. So hopefully you'll join them at that time. And of course, we can't forget Thor. He's always there. He's always excited to be there, and he's always bringing the boom, bringing the high energy. So hopefully you'll join Thor this evening, 8 o'clock in the webinar room for our Thor's Day mentorship session to close out the day. That happens this week, like every week. We were talking earlier about where do you find info. TradingTerminal.com is the first place we'll always send you, because they sponsor this show in the morning. We also use them to get our data on the gappers, on earnings, on news, on the economic calendar. All that stuff is available in Trading Terminal and so much more. Go check it out. And if you want to join us in the chat room, we have a number of membership options, from our intro to our monthly to our annual package they're all listed on our website. If you just go to bearbulltraders.com, you will see them down at the bottom of the page. You can pick the one that's right for you, and hopefully we'll see you in the chat room sometime soon. But we do give you a sneak peek of the chat room this week. All week we've been showing you sort of what live trading is like with us. We've been having live trading with our mentors. Andrew, who is often trading the open, is traveling. He asked us not to talk about where he's going, and then all over and want him to get back safe as always. A little nerve-wracking when he does these things for us, we got to say. We want to make sure that he gets back safe, and it's iffy, right? Like the success rate is not 100% when you're climbing Everest or Alaska or Papua New Guinea. So anyways, well, hopefully he's doing well and having fun based on the photos and videos he was sending. He seems to be loving it so far. So seems to be a good trip. All right, so all good luck to him. But the live trading then will be done by Brian and probably Thor, I'm guessing, at the Open. Yep. Yeah, and then then Paris comes on and tell us what wonderful things he's done and how many awesome trades he's taken, and we move on from there with live moderators throughout the trading day. So before we do that, though, we need to set some levels and hear what everybody's looking at. So
yeah, absolutely. Friends, before you forget, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Let's get to some levels here. Hopefully we're hitting our goal. Our goal is 200. So if you can get us to 200 every morning, really, really appreciate it. Keeps us going and keeps the show free over on YouTube. All right, let's go over to our gappers list this morning. I got way too many. I'm not going to get through all of these. So let's just kind of fine tune a little bit. We want American Airlines on here. They have earnings. Meta, of course, has to stay on our list. Riot looks good. Riot looks good. Now let's look at the tech companies. I have too many. I have Microsoft. I have AMD. I have Nvidia, and I think a lot of these are all just moving down with the overall market. I think Nvidia, as great as it looks, I think it might be tougher to trade. One, with the volatility that it gets and the way it moves here. I think AMD will get the volume as well and will manage our risk a lot better and easier on AMD. That's my thoughts. I think they'll be much cleaner to watch. And I do have Tesla. And then AstraZeneca, again, I think this could be a good one for a drop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did my best to try to minimize this. I think I only got rid of one. So we'll do levels for all of these. Let's go. Here's American Airlines. We'll start with that one. High of the pre-market this morning, 1475. That looks great up there. The low over at 1375. And then we're just kind of smack in the middle of the highs and lows of the last two trading days. So not a whole lot to add in that bunch there. There's a tons of levels already. In case we do drop the next level on the daily, I see over here at 1342 and all the way down here at 1295. Towards the top, I have 1510, and then I also have this one up here around 1560 are some good levels. So American Airlines looking very good. Tons of volume, 3.2 million shares traded. I'm looking forward to that one at the market open. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta down big, 15% this morning. Is this an overreaction? I mean, I don't want to have a bias going in here, but this seems like an overreaction to what was somewhat a positive look on numbers, right? So for 1330 is the low of the pre-market this morning. The high of the pre-market, we're looking at 433. So just look at the bounce this morning alone. It's insane. Towards the bottom, in case we do drop any further, we'll have to go back here. We're right in the middle of this gap up when they recover nicely. Towards the bottom, we do have 405 on there, just in case we're really going forward until it gives us a reason not to. 1109 is the low of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, great level on the daily right here. If you see this over at a 999 right there, great level of support and resistance. So you want to mark that down. And there's another one that might be important over at 1060 as well. So you got a nice resistance range here back and forth. And then you also got support at that 1060 area. Towards the top, you got the previous day close, some more highs and lows. I think you're set towards the top here, but I really like a Riot this morning quite a bit. Here is Microsoft, which I love the daily on Microsoft, the drop here, the comeback, and then we're down this morning, and they haven't even reported earnings yet. This is all based on Meta, right? Meta kind of getting a disapproval on their numbers even after reporting good stuff. So that is going to affect some of the other major tech companies like Microsoft. 396.61 is the low of the pre-market here. If we move over to the left, look at that support there, by the way. great support happening there. You see it here, here, and here. So that's awesome. Towards the bottom, in case we do decide to drop lower, there's an area at 392.98. And then right down here, there's another big one at 384. Again, I'll be surprised and shocked if Microsoft drops that much this morning and going into earnings. So we'll have to see how things play out. And then towards the top, guys, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, you're looking pretty good up there when it comes to Microsoft. Let me go ahead and do not disturb this thing over here that keeps clicking in my ear. Let's see here how we do this. Do not disturb. There we go. All right, awesome. All right, and we have AMD next. So AMD on this list this morning, as you can see here, pretty much again moving well, dropping a little bit here today. 148.38 is the low of the pre-market on AMD, and then towards the bottom of that, we do have a great level at 145.98. Towards the top, previous day close is slamming into our high of the pre-market, just slightly right on there, slightly above that at 149. Sorry, 152.20. Is our pre-market high on AMD, and once you do that, I think you're pretty set. All right, we look at Tesla, and guys, stick around. I know if you haven't joined us recently, we are streaming the live trading in our chat room over on YouTube, so stick around for that. Brian and Thor are going to be joining us live in a second here. I already see some of the moderators putting their lists out there. Looking really good this morning. We'll go through this in a second. Tesla, high of the pre-market, 163.75, and the low all the way down to 158.79. This looks really good. Great day yesterday. And they're just trying to maintain their gap up here. The market overall, obviously, not helping them this morning. 151.96. Towards the bottom is a good area there on the daily. And then towards the top, you do have the highs from the last 2 trading days. In case we continue to get higher, we do have a level at 171.80. So we'll mark that down there as well. 170.65, excuse me. Perfect. That is Tesla, guys. Pre-market action on Tesla is amazing. The volume is great too, guys. 2.7 right now. That looks awesome. Last but not least, it is AstraZeneca. Usually this stock will not be on my list. I think today they might be onto something. This might be the sleeper. This to me is a brutal, horrible pre-market activity, but I think the gap up today, this could be interesting. So I want to keep an eye on it front and center this morning. 76.01 is our high of our pre-market. The low is at 74.50. And then you got the big gap up that we had this morning. So interested to see how that is going to play out. They have not been up here. We got to go back. Looks like June of last year. So June of last year, they were around this area. You can see some of the daily stuff happening here at 73.33 and then over around 72.05. So we'll mark those two. In case we do drop, we got a couple of levels we can hit before we start getting to our previous day close and some of the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, as you see there. So I like AstraZeneca today. I think there could be a play in here, especially if it does decide to drop with all that's happening in the market today. Everything is in the red. Everything is rather weak. All right, friends, let's get to our moderators list. See what's going on here. Let's see what our moderators are looking at this morning. And then Thor and Brian will be joining us next for live trading. Thor looking at Tesla, Amazon, overall market spies and the Qs. Susan, aka Trading Mom. Every time I see that, I love it. American Airlines, so Google. Secondary list is NVIDIA. And Eamon, another day of nothing. Pre-market action is off for the way he trades, so he's not seeing any opportunities just yet. Brian will be looking at ARM, Meta, Tesla, AMD, and American Airlines. Peter, bunch of IPOs today. It's busy list this morning. Yeah. Your list, AMD, Meta, Tesla, American Airlines, Microsoft, IBM on the secondary, those last 3. And Megan looking just at Tesla this morning. Avi will be doing his thing, looking at for 0 DTE options. So he'll be looking out for those on the SPY. Jared looking at Amazon, and that's it. No Tesla for Jared. No Meta. Interesting. And Paris, Tesla, NVIDIA, Meta, Southwest, and Google for him this morning. So there you have it, friends. I'll move this up. That is our moderators list. Peter, anything that we might have missed?
I think we got it covered. That's a lot of stuff. Good luck. Be careful picking your stocks. There's a lot to watch. Narrow it down. Don't be afraid about missing something. Pick your target, stick with it, and trade smart, and you should have a good day.
Absolutely. Friends, stick around as we transition over to Brian and Thor, who's going to be trading live. So I'm going to switch the screens over in just a second here, and we're going to keep YouTube on. So Brian, Thor, when you're ready, hop on, and I'll switch over to you guys. Guys, thanks for joining Peter and I. We'll see you again tomorrow at 8:30. Have an amazing trading day as we take you through the market open.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Carlos.
Yes, sir.
Than expected, jobless claims down, which sort of I don't know. They're pointing in different directions. That's all I can say. So let's see here. SPY. I'm just looking at levels on the SPY. It's pretty close to a level here right now where I would expect some support. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens with the buying brigade if they come in and start buying this up right away. So of course, Meta earnings last night that really knocked the socks off the queues right away. The tech sector. And just like I said, I'm just putting some levels in right now on the Qs and SPY to watch. It's 502 level looks kind of interesting if we get up there on the SPY. Kind of another level here.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
I think you just infinity mirrored.
Yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool. Did that yesterday, but it Carlos worked it out somehow.
Looks good now. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a Peter screen.
That's Peter's screen. Anyway, yeah, so market's kind of thrown a bit of a fit this morning. Everything's really gapping. Tesla is down at 157.90. That's a pretty significant level from yesterday. There's a low of day there, somewhere around that level.
And an S3.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of good stuff
S3
down here.
was 157.70. Yeah.
The
S3.
thing I find interesting with Tesla is it made it right back up into this, it really had a lot of indecision yesterday with a lot of volume. So it'll be really interesting to see what that ends up spelling for today.
This 776 on NVIDIA was a level that goes back a ways as well. Now that's a level that goes back. I have to go back on the daily to see where that level kind of found support.
We have about 20 seconds till the open.
All right. So right now I'm just NVIDIA kind of looks interesting. We'll see. Tesla looks a little interesting. Meta's not doing much.
Ding, ding, ding. Order book looks pretty bullish on Tesla.
Yeah. Ooh.
There's some bearish orders. See if we can get a deep pullback into S3 here. I'd love to see it come and test yesterday's low, or it was the low of yesterday, and see what happens if we pick up a bid.
Yeah, AL's going to 14 probably.
Let's see.
AL just been completely weak since the open there. Qs still are sort of heading lower. I'm not. They're testing these pre-market lows again. Look at that. AL's gone right back to PDC. Let's see what happens.
I almost longed right there, but darn it.
And Tesla?
Yeah. It just didn't come back low enough.
Yeah. I know. I was watching that too.
Oh, I should have been on this set anyway. No, that was the right spot. I could have longed 159. That actually fit.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
We're right at the VWAP on Tesla.
We'll see if it pulls back. Otherwise, whatever. Yeah. It's not going to. This thing's gone. Well, hopefully someone got that long.
See what happened. I'm going to take a little long Tesla here, just to 160, 75. Here we go. 67. All right. Take some off here. 160, 130. Wow, AAL still sinking like a stone. Took some more off. I'm getting out of the rest of it. I don't like the way the SPY and the Qs are going lower here.
I like AMD here.
It does have some orders to the top side, but again, I don't like the direction the Qs and SPY are going. Man, oh man, AAL was a short. I don't know if anybody caught that.
All right, here we go. I grabbed AMD long off of S3.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was a perfect S3 bounce.
Let's see if it holds.
Yeah, let's see what happens. NVIDIA's back at 9 moving average. Yeah, AMD's going. I know Trading Mom was watching AAL. Hopefully you got a short on that.
Let's get through the open price. I'm going for 150.
AAL's
partial. There we go.
Oh, nice move.
Nice.
Yes, NVIDIA's moving. I'm long Tesla again. At 161.10.
That was 3.5 R on that, or worth of distance there. So I'm up a little over an R there on that partial. Nice, Rav. Let's see if this thing holds. We got to 150. We got large bids to the downside. So if we fail here, we can run through. But we got nice ladder to the top side. So we can run. But we need some buyers. We got a void to the downside. So it would be harder for it to drop. Well, let's see what happens. If they have to negotiate this void, it's going to just be a disgusting drop. It'll go, and I'll get stuck. I'll have to get stopped out. They should support on top of it, though. Short sellers. Getting a little buy volume into the Qs.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go with Tesla.
Come on. Let's see if it holds the open price.
Let's see if we can get 162 now. 162 is, here we go. Just sell some here. Selling
buying.
161,
Buying.
88.
Right.
162, waiting. Come on. It's got a little bit left. Right at PDC is 162, so probably going to get some resistance there. Don't like it. I'm out of NVIDIA. Out of NVIDIA on the rest is. I just don't like the way they're bringing the bids down, the asks. They've dropped that 162. All right. Well, two decent trades on NVIDIA, or Tesla, I should say. NVIDIA is kind of popping up here. Went green.
I'm still holding AMD. Trying to see if hopefully this thing will ABCD for me and get rock and keep on going. Great. I'm at a great price on it, so I'm just kind of being patient, not to do anything silly.
It's back up again. Tesla may still go.
This is the only concern I have on AMD is this is our monthly S4, so there's likely a large seller camping right around here somewhere. So we need some volume if we're going to blast through them. I like it. So far, our volume profile fits an ABCD. Our volume has dropped as we've been in the consolidation period, not elevated. So that actually still fits a continuation pattern to the top side. So I'm actually pretty okay with holding this position still. BPA still fits in advance. More buying into the queues.
Yeah,
I'm going to put some profit in front of R3 here. Average is 147.55.
Amazon moving. Look at Apple. Apple's really blasted off here, right into the pre-market. It went green. That's interesting. Ooh, Amazon, nice bounce off S4. I don't know if Jared traded that. Tesla may want to go higher here. Amazon's got a lot of bids up here at around 171 and below.
Nice Amazon, Jared.
Yeah.
Right off at S4 too. It's a great spot. I love the S6 on Amazon. That's why I was watching Amazon early on my list, Jared. I loved where it was, just kind of being in this buying range in both charts. Strong support from before. It was a good spot to look.
Yeah.
Yeah, sellers. That's brilliant. Good job, dude. Brilliant.
There's a lot of asks here just before 171 around it. Whoa, Tesla popped up into the green.
You can see I already got limits sitting up here in front of R3. For half of everything I have left, which will, I'm still carrying 2/3 of my position. So it'll be half of everything that's left if we get there, and then I'll keep the rest on. See what happens.
Yeah, Tesla's not done either. It's still going. It's 163. Amazon's eating away at those bids. We're at 171. Nvidia's breaking out. Back above 800.
And SPY and Qs aren't doing anything right now.
Yeah.
Considering all of the, it's wild that all of these sector-related tickers are actually squeezing right now. And all of our ETFs and futures are all just staying pinned down. Horrible spot to sell on them. So I don't know what they're really doing here. Come on, AMD. You can make it. Doing very well on this position right now. If this makes it to this target, I'll be over goal on this one trade.
Wow, Amazon just tanked. All right, well, we're finding a bottom here maybe on the SPY. Yeah, AMD right at PDC right now.
Yeah, almost there. My partial's right in front of R3 and PDC for my half of everything I got left. Fingers crossed. There's some volume on the Qs. Come on, baby. Yes! Boom! Filled, baby. Let's go. One and done.
Nice.
Still holding a third of the position overall. If it come right now, I'll cut it if it comes back through the open price. So if I lose like 149, I'll be willing to get rid of some of these. But right now, we're going to go for R4 for the rest.
Yeah, I got along some Nvidia calls.
Let's go.
800s. Yeah. Oh, look at Tesla. Bam.
Nice.
Bam. Okay, it's coming up to an area where I think there's going to be some resistance, 165. Wow, just getting out of some of these Nvidia calls.
Just wanted you guys. So my watch list at 9 o'clock, Tesla and Amazon. I ended up trading AMD, but both really good tickers today. They both had a little volume in the pre-market. They both were in some nice ranges to see some institutional action. So it was a pretty good time. AMD was in a similar spot too. It was fun. Good spots.
All right, I'm just selling some more Nvidia calls, 1920. Whew.
It was a great trade.
Wow. Yeah. What did I tell you? Watch out. The buying brigade's going to come in.
Bring on the buying brigade. Let's do it.
Yeah. Just a matter of time. Oh, man.
Let's go. Man.
Didn't take them long to jump all over that.
This is a lot of buying on AMD. Like, it's been buying really well. And now they've got orders up to 160.
It's funny how NVIDIA actually lagged AMD. Usually it's the other way around.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and put half more I'm actually not going to go all out at R4. I'm going to put half there, and then I'll cut, and then I'm going to see the response, and I'll maybe cut the rest if it doesn't respond. We could actually get a trending breakout. So we'll see what happens. We're coming into the CP and R4 here. I think this is 2 days ago's high. So let's see what happens. But we got all the way up to like what in the pre-market yesterday, we were all the way up to almost 158. So there's definitely potential if we can squeeze the right people.
You're looking at squeezing the right people.
Always.
Sounds like fun.
Diddly doodly.
Definitely don't want to be squeezing the wrong people.
We're talking stock markets here, people. What is going on with you?
Exactly.
The minds of people in here.
Yeah, Meta's making a bit of a comeback here. People didn't like the guidance, but you know. It still blew the, you know, that's the kind of thing, you know, you just don't know with earnings what, you know, how it's all going to work out, because you know, Meta had some really good numbers. If you'd have known those numbers, you might have been inclined to go long.
Meta's definitely, we were trading Meta yesterday, and I ended up I was short on Meta yesterday at R3, and I got a nice move on it, partial stopped, and then got another one, got a little bit of a move and stopped. And I said, you know what? It's not really performing for me. I don't really like it. And I cut it. Right. So look at what happened. Imagine if I was like a more savvy person who actually understood like long-term stuff and swing trading and all these stuff. Look at what this ends up being. My entry was right up here with about 50 cents risk on something that's dropped like $100. It'd been like the trade of a century. You know, I was like, I had like a couple hundred shares of this thing at that level. It would have been like the short of the century. It would have been like, they could have made movies about the great short that I did. So anyway, I didn't make any money on it. Great idea. Just break evens. And I need a hug, Raph. Raph gives good hugs.
I'm just going to share my screen in case. I mean, I'm just looking at a book map, so you can toggle back and forth between whoever screen you want.
AMD's coming back to the old 20 here. I'm going to see if it holds up. The volume's been pretty light on this pullback, so I'm not really like feeling like this was a reversal yet, but we'll see. I mean, we did come right to 2 days ago's high, which is where the CP was, and tagged that and then started selling. So, but if you notice on the book map, we're actually dropping, but we have more buying than selling as we drop. So this looks like they're kind of accumulating on this pullback. So we'll see what happens. They may come back and tag the low and then go back to the high again. If so, maybe I'll add.
We're back to the 9 EMA right now on AMD. See if it finds support here. Yeah, had a nice little bounce there. I took some Meta long, and it might be a swing. Might actually have it as a swing trade. We'll see what happens here.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I tell you, I bought it in a Canadian account. There's ETFs. There's Canadian ETFs, so I can buy these Mag 7 stocks, and they're hedged with Canadian and foreign currency. So
Meta actually offers a dividend too, I think.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure
there
if
could be some interest in the longer term market to scoop it and throw it into
yeah, I don't know if these
their tech portfolios.
it's CBO Canada, CBOE. I'm not sure if we get dividend with this instrument. And just see. Oh yeah, you get a dividend. There you go. Call it a day.
For the record, I'm not very good at adding. Apparently, I have a really horrible statistics. I have a really horrible statistic on adding.
Yeah, I kind of thought that there was an area there I should have added on Tesla on that pullback. And I thought if I was Paris, I'd be adding. And then I'd go, I love you, Tesla.
No, Pyrus is a baller at adding. That's the thing. He's so good. But, but when I get into a position, right, I'm long here. My stop is right here. I don't even take my first partial till here and my second one till here. So adding for me holds a lot less value. The strength of my trading is holding my positions, not by adding into them and then taking lots of partials. Right. So it just depends on your style. I find I get too anxious when I add and sell and add and sell and add and sell and add and sell. It freaks me out. I'd rather just buy and then just do nothing.
Oh, look at this. Nice bounce back off the 9 EMA on Tesla. There's a big order there, 165.
Nice. We'll see. Maybe we can pull one off. I had it on AMD, and so far so good on that one.
Yeah. AMD's got some big bids at 154.
If we get back, I can get to profit now by like 153, and we've already been to that price. So I'm going to go ahead and put some orders in front of that.
The NVIDIA's still going here. Just buyers coming back in on NVIDIA.
Good buying during that pullback.
Yeah, what an opportunity on NVIDIA to get long under 780. Crazy.
Qs are getting a little bit more volume in. We've been holding this downside range on the SPY and Qs for quite a while now. I mean, ever since the open, we haven't dropped at all. So if anything, we could be getting ready to little pre-market bear trap, sell off really hard in the pre-market, get us down into some good lows, and then once the market opens, put in a half hour and then squeeze them. Let's see what their plans are today. They're gonna have to commit to it pretty soon, though. I mean, they've been faking like they're gonna, or acting like they're gonna break out the Q, or not break out, but rally the Qs a bit here. They've been looking like that for a bit. If they don't get to it, they're gonna have to. As long as they stay above the 50, but if they go back under the 50 SMA, we'll probably sell off again for a bit, or at least back down to the low of the day. Dang it. I don't like this at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have a reason to trade again here. And I'll just keep looking for some setups, but
S&P today is with pre-market, use extended trading hours with pre-market data because you've gapped from yesterday. Well, cool. Well, it's 9:56. I'm gonna go ahead and actually bail because I have a
For
10
sure.
o'clock. But 11 o'clock
All right,
today,
man.
Eamon is on. So
Yep.
for anyone who's looking to hang out with me, don't forget I do Thursday mentoring sessions. On Thursday, I do them in the evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. I open the doors at 7:45. So if you want to get in early and make sure your question gets onto the questions tab and gets answered, come on in and hang out with me. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Otherwise, profit of profit. Always great trading with you, brother.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah,
for
here's
sure.
your
Talk to you later.
Okay, take care. Thank you, Thor. As always, nice grab by Thor at that S3 bounce. That's right out of Thor's trade book. Hey, good morning, Paris.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Hey, everyone. How is it going?
Pretty good. Had a couple of good trades on Tesla. Had a nice trade on NVIDIA calls when it started to break out there. Yeah. What did you trade? I kind of was thinking about you when I was trading Tesla. I didn't probably trade it as good as you.
The funny thing is, I did not even touch Tesla today.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was your go-to, your girlfriend.
But it was too extended right now. She was too burnt out for it to bounce.
Okay.
But
That's how fickle you are when it comes to ladies. I'm not interested anymore.
yeah, and I pretty much fucked up today. I am in LUV right now, Southwest,
Oh, okay.
and I am short from 26.65, very heavy size. But the area that I effed up was on Meta. I was long biased on Meta, um, and I traded quite a few occasions. And looking back, there was no reason for me to, hesitate. I perfectly got a great entry. Firstly, first one, the first minute popped up, stopped out. Nothing wrong with that. It could have easily popped up now. Now I'm looking for an area to bounce. This one, I took a perfect entry at 417, 417.5. And then just because of the size, I was hesitating it. I was cutting size, adding size, cutting size, adding size. And I was just messy because of the size I was taking. And that too, it was volatile. I should have known better. I was going like 500, 700 shares, cutting size, 500, 700 shares, cutting size. And I just couldn't hold it. And then eventually, the second I got out, it popped up like a $10. So, so I like my thesis was right, but my execution was really bad uh, on Meta. So I'm down right now on the day. But and same with the so love is not giving me love so far. I made money on it, but uh, this is currently at break even because I had two stop outs on love before. So seems like it's gonna stop me out again. Uh, so I'm down on the day, guys. Nothing crazy though, but if love works out and breaks the 26, I'll be back at break even on the day. So, but I'm currently down.
Yeah, we seem to be. So we had that little bit of buying. People kind of rushed in and bought after that little bit of a down move at the open, and now we're started. The sellers are sort of coming back here.
And do not get into love, guys. This is the worst stock you wanna trade. No order flow. I don't know why am I in this stock. This There's an idiotic price action. This is making money, but you do not want to be in this kind of a stock. I don't know. You want to be in Tesla. You want to be in Nvidia. These are like really nice order flow. Nvidia, like very nice bounce from this thing. These are the stocks that you want to be in with good order flow. This is literally a piece of garbage. Wow.
AMD is coming down now. Yeah, Qs are now the selling's starting to kick in here.
Yeah, I don't love Southwest. Means I like the company. I think they are pretty good, but not the stock. Yeah, I'm shorting Southwest. Shala. Yeah, am I
Yeah,
short?
like AAL was a really good short. I mean, I kind of was eyeing that, but I didn't take that trade, which was
Yeah.
unfortunate. AAL just dropped like a stone, and it was actually kind of gapping up. This was a really good. I call that my lead balloon trade. So it's gapping up, but trading below the VWAP and weak going into the open. It just as soon as they open, man, they just hit that. They just hit the sell button. It seems like AMD's down at VWAP. Good bounce here. Qs are kind of hanging in there. We're just basically kind of chopping in a range right now. It's the SPY that's really getting hit right now.
Yeah, my average is this thing.
Nvidia is still pretty strong. Nvidia is just hanging in there as well. Okay, we're getting a bit of a bounce on AMD off of VWAP. Kind of not surprising.
Yeah, Nvidia bounced. Very nice.
SPY's bouncing now a little bit after another sell-off here. Yeah, nice little bounce of AMD off of VWAP. I don't know if anybody took that. It's always a good area to try along.
Yeah, I'm getting stopped out on LUV as well, guys. Yeah, I got stopped out.
What's Jared still looking at Amazon? Yeah, Amazon's what a huge gap down on Amazon, man.
What was Amazon doing? Yeah, I saw Jared was
Really, it dropped down. That's there's a Thor trade for you from his order book. He dropped, was weak going into the open, kind of almost kind of rising devil trade. Could have taken it short, but it bounced right back, held S4, and ripped back up there.
So yeah, love. I'm glad I'm stopped out. I'm gonna look for some good. Man, Meta turned out. What a move on Meta, man. This is a
Yeah.
big FOMO for me. Like I literally caught the bottom of it. Now I'm not a part of it. That was too big of an extent. Like Meta was dropped too much for 16-17% for a stock like Meta. That was a
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, I missed the move because I had to leave early because I had to go to the dentist. So I was saying, but did you trade after hours? Because I know you.
no, I did
Okay,
not.
we were. I was in the room right up to the close, and I was just waiting for you to come on.
No,
Like,
I don't usually trade after hours. Only like very specific areas.
right, only your favorite stocks.
Yeah. uh, so I'm not really sure if there is. So Tesla is. Man, what a mess on Meta. What a mess on Meta.
I'm short some 170 calls, Tesla 170 calls. They expire end of this week. Nvidia is going to go again, but it feels like it wants to break out.
Yeah, Nvidia feels like it wants to break out. Very nice, Nathan. Very nice recycling of your position. Yeah, Nader Saj, yes, I do look at the tape. I'm looking at the momentum burst for my exits. What a move on Meta, man. Tesla is selling off. Amazon.
Nice. This meta trade for me, and this is working out too. Already up a lot on this Canadian ETF. Nice. Qs are breaking out here. Like by the looks of it, they're going to try to go higher. This might be a good place to look at. This might be too early, but I was thinking of selling some 0DT. I'd probably do the puts today. I did the calls yesterday. Might do the puts today. Maybe 418 on the Qs. It's a little bit early. Usually don't like to take these option trades till around another 45, 50 minutes, but seems like we might have put in a bottom here.
Yeah, Tesla looks like I don't know what it looks like right now. Meta.
Still get $1 for them. I'm selling some 418 puts on the Qs. Got 95 cents for them. Oh, jeez. Nvidia. Damn you.
So Tesla is coming back up above the VWAP. JS, Nvidia. What is Nvidia doing?
Yeah, Nvidia's really moving here. Oh man, AMD, that would have been a good trade off the VWAP. I don't know if anybody took it, but
Yeah, Thor took like literally the bottom of the AMD. What
yeah, that
a
was
graph.
really nice. Yeah, Qs are going. Meta's moving really nicely. Thank you. Thank you, Meta.
Yeah, I'm very emotional on Meta right now. I missed the entire move. So I'm not gonna touch Meta. I'm gonna see if Tesla gives me a chance to go long. I think Tesla pops today. Makes the new highs. Yeah, very nice. TAINS. What times? Literally grabbed the bottom of. Wow. There are so many amazing traders in the chat room, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiser, Tesla, man. Kaiser, you're stealing my girlfriend.
Yeah, this is kind of a random place for Tesla to. I don't really see any reason why Tesla should have bounced there, and it's kind of a V reversal.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just it's kind of a. What is that level? That's not.
Meta just does not want to stop going up.
Good. Yeah. Oh, okay. Is that what it was? Yeah. Apple went red again.
Meta, man, Meta.
Yeah.
Tesla never gave a pullback either. I completely missed every move today.
Yeah, I'm up $1,000 on that now on Meta.
Wow.
That's Canadian. That's about 700 US.
And Tesla popped up really nice too. No pullback. I was thinking, give us a pullback. And that's the reason. That's the disadvantage of uh,
Hmm.
waiting for the right entry. It's you just miss the move. Nothing so far, guys. I'm still waiting for something that I can find to trade.
Amazon looks like it's ready to break out here. Wow. Nvidia's 820 just popped through there.
Yeah, Nvidia 820. AMD breaking the highs too. Tesla broke the 165. Broke the highs.
Just had to get along some calls there on Nvidia. Still trading the 800s. Expiring end of today. Man, oh man.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't have like it jumps around a lot. I might close the day red today.
Hmm.
Everything is too extended right now, and for me to get into a long, so no conviction for me yet. Love was completely changed its direction. Now it's making new highs. Wow. I
Yeah,
did not.
I just yeah, AAL really found a bottom here, and now it's really boogieing back here.
Oh, Apple.
Yeah, Cat was reported this morning. What's Apple doing? Apple's flat,
Yeah, Apple is flat.
but it keeps trending. It's in a downtrend.
Yeah, it's in a downtrend, which is
Yeah.
a good thing. So that is trading against the. Again, it's too extended. Maybe 169.50 was 40 was an area that I would trade. This is
168.40 kind of looks like an area where there should be some support.
yeah. Nothing interesting. Meta seems like it wants to still go higher. The volume just they keep buying.
Yeah, look at it, and Nvidia too. It's just
What is Nvidia?
He's got a bunch of orders at 824, 826.
Nvidia looking. Google, nothing much. Apple, man, Meta broke the 440s now. What a mess up, man. I am having the biggest FOMO on Meta. Very emotional on it right now.
AMD, wow, AMD right back at high of day here.
Just because of the sizing, guys. Like this is a sometimes when you're not comfortable with the size, you tend to take irrational decisions. The size that I was very uncomfortable with. I'm trying to, bump up my size every single time just to keep me uncomfortable, but it was too much of a size for me to handle. Uh, and yeah, and it's you look like if we look at Andrew and all of these folks, right? It's uh, he increased his bump on the size eventually, and slowly, and with the size he takes, it's you have to be comfortable holding for the stock. This was the time where the stock was actually breathing, and you have to give enough time for the stock to breathe. And I did not give that enough time for the stock to breathe, and that's why it's like I was trying
Yeah,
to play around with.
This thing is just crazy. I'm taking some. I've sold some. I just sold some Meta. Of course, that was my Canadian trade, but anybody actually in that stock day trading it? I didn't day trade it on my IB account. Hopefully, some people did, because it's been a monster.
Yeah, even Tesla today seems like it wants to be a monster.
Yeah, I got out of most of my 170s calls, and I'm short, but I still think 170 is an area that Tesla's going to have trouble getting through.
Yeah. So Evo, yeah, I do bump up my size frequently, as and when I see some consistency in my trading, and I have to prove and deserve a bump. And after today, like and sometimes the bump on the size, you have to come back and stick to your previous size. Ideally, I would have been comfortable with 400 to 500 shares on Meta. Uh, but trading with 700 shares, 800 shares, and then eventually at one point I even increased to 1,000 shares, and then I kept cutting it, adding back, and kept cutting it, and I couldn't handle it. And that, like, 500 shares would have given me 418 to 440, 20-point move. Wow. So yeah, so currently I'm having that FOMO.
All right. Well, today after the close, we've got Microsoft, Snap, Intel, Roku, and Alphabet. So it should be interesting. Again, it's not going to. It's like Meta. It's not going to be about the It's not going to be about the numbers they put up. It's going to be about the guidance that they give. So to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. What's that, AMD? AMD is kind of flattening out here at previous, or at least the high of the day, which was back at 940.
All right, friends. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the live trading so far at here at Bearable Traders. We are coming up on an hour, so we're going to be getting ready to close it up here and then be back again tomorrow. So if you want to learn more on how to join us, you can head over to bearabletraders.com and you can find us there with more information. Some of the questions you guys asked on here, I did see them, but they're a little bit tougher to answer quickly when these guys are live. So that's why we couldn't get to some of those this morning. Why is Peter on the screen? Peter's frozen, which should not be him. It should be. Got to make some changes to that. But yeah, thank you guys. Let's see some comments. If you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up. It does help us out a ton. Again, we will be live tomorrow, so join us for that. And let me see one more thing here. Making changes on the fly as we okay, so here it is. That should be it. Okay, perfect. All right, let's see some comments you guys have here in chat before we hop off. That's crazy when you get opportunity confidence. Yeah, increasing size as Paris was talking about. So you were watching Brian trading in the market open. That was Brian and Thor. They trade from 9:30 to about 10 o'clock. And then Brian continues, and now you have Paris trading until about probably 11 o'clock. Then Thor comes back to trade live, or Eamon comes back to trade live later today. So we have a whole schedule you can get over at bearabletraders.com. So we trade the whole day, the whole entire day here until 4. And then on earnings, on top earnings like we're going to have tonight, we had yesterday, the guys will stay on a little bit longer to to trade the earnings. And it's a lot of fun, especially with some of the names we got coming up tonight. We have Microsoft, right? We have Microsoft, we have Google. Those are the big ones for today. That should be a whole lot of fun. So guys, thank you for joining us. We'll keep doing this. We'll keep doing this, but make sure you hit that thumbs up and you subscribe as well so we can see the growth on the channel. And that's going to continue to motivate us to keep doing these shows live for you. And we'll see you again at 8:30. Have a great trading day, guys, and have a good one. Trade safe out there.